Hi everyone, welcome to my channel, Life and Literature. My name's Emily and today I'm going to be reviewing The Great Gatsby by Scott Fitzgerald. If this is something you'll be interested in, then please keep on watching. First and foremost, the book I actually have of The Great Gatsby, I got a while back. It's Pulp the Classics, it's actually got yellow pages. I have been on the search for a different version of this, only because I don't really like the cover. I feel like, because it's quite a thin book, I feel like it would look really cool as a hardback. So I've been on the search for an antique version of this book. So if you have any recommendations of places where I could find one, then please let me know. As a lot of people know, a lot of people have read it in school, some people haven't. And some people have read it just themselves in their spare time. Now, I am one of the people that's just read it in my spare time because it is a classic. I have tried to make sure I've read as many classics as I have brand new books. Nothing against brand new books, but I just feel a certain warmth towards old classic books. One of my favourite books is Pride and Prejudice, and that I just happened to try just on a kind of whim and I ended up loving the book, and I do love the terminology, I love the placement of it. I just feel like the time period of the 1900s, I just feel there's just a way they describe love which is so profound that I'm always drawn. I have an entire shelf of just antique books because I'm just always drawn to the story and the way they tell it. Now, The Great Gatsby, if you don't already know, it is about Jay Gatsby. It is told from the perspective of a gentleman called Nick Carraway, who seems to be the only sensible voice of reason within all the chaos that happens. Gatsby sought to rewrite his history, grow within high circles, and make a name and life for himself with these over-the-top displays of wealth. I think it's to try and show that he's trying to buy respectability, have this well-do living, but really is leading quite a meaningless life. Not saying it's horrible to live a life of just luxury, but you can tell he's evidently doing it for a particular reason. And Nick is the contrast to show the facade of kind of Gatsby's persona, this seeming well-mannered, polite, gracious gentleman, to the end being actually quite a flawed and deeply tragic figure. I think each layer is slowly progressed throughout the book and throughout a series of parties and affairs, beatings, drunken escapades. The lives of the characters lead to really terrible consequences. It's really the tale of tragic love. This Gatsby is in the summer of 1922, the Roaring Twenties, Long Island, New York, and this flamboyant lifestyle and materialism is self-serving, motivated by unfulfilled dreams, unrequited love and tragedy. His nature of desires are put in the end into a cruel and unflattering light. He is absolute besotted and in love with the character Daisy, and it's misplaced devotion and hopeless longing by the notorious Jay Gatsby. He loves a woman he can never really be with. She's married to Tom, and kind of Gatsby uses Nick, who is Daisy's cousin, as a way to get her back, to try and encourage her over, trying to show her that he's a different man to what he was brought up with. He was quite poor, and Daisy went with someone quite rich and worked his way up the ladder. He wanted to show her that he could live in this huge, extravagant world and he could be a part of it. It doesn't matter where he came from. But then you have this ostentatious and extravagant forms of show to display his wealth and his expensive living, and throughout this his never-ending love for Daisy. I think it's heartbreaking because as much as you fall for Gatsby and his determination, he just wants to love and wants to be loved by the one person that unfortunately can't seem to love him with all her heart. I think there are forever huge, massive quotes in this book which will be spoken about years and years to come. I think Fitzgerald has such an amazing way of deciphering a life and explaining how that life and actions can consequent other people. Gatsby has wanted so much to be in this higher society and almost, I think, forgets where he came from. And even though he is an amazing, in my opinion, character, I feel like Fitzgerald, the way he has wrote this, he's let us sit through a big proportion of the book with rose-tinted glasses, being deciphered a story of disruption and betrayal by a narrator who Nick just wants us to trust so much because he does. He is a very trusting, seeming very caring and shy character. And in the beauty of this world and the glamorous life, we are just left with almost like a sliver of translucent space through these glasses to see that Gatsby is being given the same treatment by the author. Gatsby's looking at everything through these rose-tinted glasses because he hopes and wishes so much, which makes us hope and wish so much even more. And sadly, as the notorious story goes, Gatsby doesn't make it out. He doesn't fit in this world, and unfortunately it's very, very dark ending to what felt like such a light beginning. And I think Fitzgerald put us in almost a sense of unreality to just at the end push us into the dark reality that was kind of people getting over the war, people going out and just having a ball. But for all these people that are at Gatsby's parties and events, it's, well, how many of them were actually there for him? Was there any actual real relationships? I think Nick was a real relationship. I think he looked up to Gatsby and everything he was doing so much. He respected him. And that's even sadder because Gatsby wasn't looking, in my opinion, for Nick for a friend. He was looking as a way to get to Daisy because the only person he ever wanted was Daisy. And sadly, Daisy did not pick him at the beginning nor at the end. I think it's a true heartbreaking, unrequited love story, and Fitzgerald has left, I think, the world with an amazing story. I think he has managed to create such an amazing world in very short pages for something that is so profound even now to try and relate to. I think he may have not known it at the time, about how important this book would be, but I think this book, Great Gatsby, is going to be talked about for years and years to come because of Fitzgerald's amazing storytelling. If you haven't read The Great Gatsby, I just want to ask why. It's less than 200 pages. It's 189 pages. I read it in one sitting. I am quite a fast reader and I'm always very determined to finish a book, especially if it's less than 200 pages, very quickly. And I couldn't even put this down if I wanted to. If you can, I think, get the book. I definitely say read the book, because whether school's telling you to or not, it's a profound piece of literature, and no matter how you feel about any of the characters, whether you like or hate Gatsby, whether you root for Nick, or whether you actually do like Daisy or not, I think no matter what, there is so many different ways people take it. Some people love it, some people hate it, but I would say the majority of people still respect Fitzgerald and his amazing storytelling. So I would definitely recommend The Great Gatsby. It needs to be on your bookshelf. If you have the opportunity and you're at school and it's there, I definitely think pick it up. I definitely think no matter what, everyone must read some of these classics. It needs to be in your brain inventory. Yeah, so if you enjoyed this review, then please do like the button, hit subscribe if you haven't done already, and I will see you soon in the next one. Bye.